What's up, beautiful people? Ari Friedman with Sunshine Health and Fitness here. Apologize for the technical difficulties last night, but I want to go over the stuff we were going to do for the workshop last night here, and I'm going to just upload it to Facebook and YouTube and all that good stuff. So first things first, like I said, I'm the owner of Sunshine Health and Fitness, and we specialize in helping people achieve their lifestyle goals by using a variety of progressive exercise, nutrition, and psychology-based modifications in order to promote habit change. And today we're going to have a little bit of a chat about one of, I guess, what would be considered the more difficult times of year to facilitate habit change, and a common time for people to get off track in regards to the lifestyle modifications that they're trying to make for a variety of reasons. So hopefully you guys can leave after watching this video with a couple of strategies or ideas to help you either maintain your progress in your lifestyle goals, or if you're feeling good, even start some new ones. A couple of quick announcements in regards to Sunshine Health and Fitness. All of this week up until Saturday, our nutritional spotlight is probiotics. And so through our online dispensary, which you can get to on our website, liveforsunshine.com, and just go to the store at the top bar there. We're having a special this week for probiotics, and that special is 15% off and free shipping if you purchase any order that has probiotics in it. Also, if you stay tuned and keep your eyes and ears open, next week we are going to be having a Black Friday special, so pay attention to different announcements online for that. And we're also going to be having a holiday event coming up, which we'll start promoting a little bit more next week. So for those that are local in the Newtown area, in the Connecticut area, we'd love for you to come on out and take part in that holiday event that we are doing in conjunction with Balanced Pilates and Bar Studios, which is fellow business in Highland Plaza in Newtown, Connecticut. So without further ado, let's talk about Thanksgiving a little bit. Thanksgiving represents the start of the holiday season, so to speak, and from here it's, I guess, a 6 or 7 week period that we're getting hammered with all different kinds of holiday related obligations. We have Thanksgiving, then we have Black Friday, you got Cyber Monday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve, New Year's, start thinking about resolutions, all of these things. Our brain is being pulled in a lot of different ways. Our energy is being pulled in a lot of different ways. And what should be just a variety of good excuses to spend time with loved ones and become a little bit more introspective and looking at what we accomplished or what we maybe could have done better last year, looking at goal setting for the year to come. What should be a productive time of year and a fun time of year is very stressful for a lot of people. There's a lot of planning and preparation that goes into a lot of the holidays. We're spending a lot of money this time of year. We're figuring out what people can or can't eat. We're just trying to figure out where to put our energy, where it's going to be most efficiently put. So again, for now, we're just going to go over a couple of quick strategies to help you stay focused on your lifestyle goals and possibly de-stress a little bit. And when we're talking about our health and wellness, we want to talk about the health of both our body and our mind, because you can't really have one without the other. We need to pay attention to the full spectrum here. And I'm going to kind of break things down a little bit here into 3 categories, being fitness, nutrition, and our own psychology as it pertains to these things. So the first thing I want to touch on is the psychological aspect of things, because this is, in my opinion, the most important. It's the groundwork for everything else. And there's 2 main things that are going to dictate your success, not just this time of year. This has to do with your success really in anything. It has to do with your success on whether or not you're going to binge eat during the holidays, and whether you're going to maintain or surpass some lifestyle goals, or whether you're not. It has to do with whether you're going to reach your financial or your business goals. It applies to everything, okay? So the first one is to get your priorities in straight. priorities and making time for the things that are the most important for you is the most important thing. There is no such thing in this world as not having time to do something. There's only not making something a priority, all right? That's just something that we have to understand. Right now, right after this, a good exercise for people to do, if you want to take a minute to grab a pen and a piece of paper and set it down next to you on whatever you're watching this on, a good exercise to do, and something I do with my life coaching clients, is you take a few minutes, and it's not something you can rush. You need to put the time into this if you are really serious about accomplishing the things you want to accomplish this time of year and staying on target. Take the time that it needs. Take that pen, take that piece of paper, and write down the top 5 to 10 things that you are going to prioritize leading up to, the day of, and right after the holidays. And in this particular talk, I'm talking mostly about Thanksgiving because it's the one coming up, but you can dive as far into this as you want. But this is kind of the moment of truth, is this little exercise right here. If fitness and nutrition and stress relief are not priorities for you, then simply don't put them on that list, because multitasking does not work. You are not going to get the most out of the things that are your priorities if you're focusing on other little medial things that don't really matter that much to you. You're not going to put that much effort into it. They just don't mean enough to you, and that's fine. But you're just going to further stress yourself out if you're trying to squeeze these things in when they simply aren't a priority for you. If exercise or nutrition and stress relief or stress management is something that is a priority to you, then we will continue and have you move on to step 2, which is after you've written down these 5 to 10 things that are a priority for you, you take another couple of minutes and you rank them, whether it be 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Again, this is not something you can rush. If you try and rush through it, you are not going to get the benefit of it. You want to order those things on what the highest priority is for you to what the lowest priority is for you. And be honest with yourself, 100% honest. Now we're going to move on to the second thing. Remember, we said priorities was number 1. Number 2 is scheduling. Scheduling is key. So we all schedule different kinds of appointments for ourselves, doctor's appointments, training appointments. It's important to make time in your schedule to schedule appointments for your habits. Scheduling habits is just making appointments with yourself. Keeping those appointments is just as important as keeping an appointment with a doctor or any other kind of appointment you might have. So the same way that you'd go into your calendar or your schedule, whether it be on a device or you still write it out by hand, as some of you do, you write down what the habit is that you are going to follow through on. And so if this has to do with exercise, it's what time of day, what time of day, and what exactly is going to consist of, what your exercise routine is going to consist of. When are you starting? When are you ending? And you need to make that appointment. If you are thinking about this from a nutritional standpoint, when are you going to plan out what you're going to cook? When are you going to plan out what research you're going to do for recipes and things like that? What's the block of time that you're going to be spending on it? What's the block of time you're going to be spending on grocery shopping? All of these things are very important because it needs to be something you've already made a decision on. There's a lot of research that kind of drives home the importance of not having to think about something at the last minute. You want to have already made a decision that you're going to do something before it actually comes up that you have to do it. And so, for instance, if making your bed in the morning is something that you just know you're going to do, you're not waking up and thinking about whether you're going to make your bed or not. Breakfast is a big one too. If you just make it a habit, you wake up in the morning and have a green smoothie, it's just something that you do. It's not something that you're thinking about. And so with this, when we're making appointments for ourselves, if we know that we're going to be working out Friday morning from 6 a.m. to 6:40 a.m., it's just something that we do. And we know exactly what that workout is going to consist of. All right? So the next thing that is very important for you folks to do is figure out your schedule leading up to the day of and the days after Thanksgiving. We'll go into stress relief a little bit now. It's important to figure out what your stressors are this time of year. A lot of times they're things that compound on each other, and it's important to know if you're going to be in a certain environment, what things are going to cause you more stress or anxiety. And it's important, again, to write these things down out on paper. The exercise we do here is we game plan for what these stresses are, when they're going to occur, and what we can do to either avoid them or be most prepared for them if there's no way to avoid them. If a stressor for you is being around lots of people with loud music and all these different things, just too much stimulation, there may not be a way to avoid that. If going to like a big family party is something you do every year, but there may be a variety of strategies that you can utilize to help yourself kind of stay calm. And once you write these things down, you need to take the time to figure out those things that are going to help you through these stressful times. Now, everybody's different. Everyone has different stressors during this time of year and in life in general. So I'm not going to get into like an exceptional amount of detail, because each kind of stressor may have a different kind of strategy that's better for one person or another person. But it's important to put time into this, and it's the only way that it'll be effective. Something that I have found very helpful and something I recommend to a lot of people is to start with a morning and an evening journal. And this is really just something that you do for 5 minutes first thing when you wake up, 5 minutes right before you go to bed. I have several of my clients do it, and I do it myself. And you're really just answering a variety of questions. There's a template that we have for people, and it's designed to help you get your mind right and just focusing on the things that matter, practicing gratitude, and you're starting to kind of align your psychology in a way that helps you focus on the things you want to achieve and how you can achieve them, as opposed to focusing on the things that are going to distract you from that. Okay? The other thing that's really important from a psychological standpoint, in my opinion, is meditation. There's a lot of misconceptions in regards to meditation, and a lot of times it's one of those things that you can easily put off. It can be a little monotonous. A lot of times I hear people say that they tried it, but their mind keeps racing, and I think that there's a lot of the problem there is that people don't understand what the practice of meditation actually is. Most think it's just practicing slowing your mind down, but it's really just kind of allowing yourself to get a bird's eye view of what's going on in your head or in your life. And again, this is something that you should absolutely schedule time for and prioritize. If it's not a priority for you at this point in time, then obviously it's not something you're going to do, so don't bother trying to start it. But if relieving stress, if you know that this is going to be a high stress or high anxiety time of year for you, it might be a good idea to start this. And in my opinion, the best way to start is to do some kind of guided meditation. There are a variety of different apps out there. The one that comes to mind right now is one called Headspace, which is actually kind of a visual component to it. Excuse me. But, it's a guided meditation focusing on a variety of different things, and you're kind of following different designs and things like that. So it kind of helps to settle the brain down a little bit. But meditation is more just about, one, having a singular focus. You can do it really any time of day. A lot of time our stress and anxiety comes from thinking too far ahead or worrying too much about things that have happened in the past. So a very simple example would be if you just had Thanksgiving dinner and you're washing dishes, the mantra you're kind of saying to yourself is that you're washing the dishes just to wash the dishes. You're not thinking about putting them away afterward. You're not thinking about serving dessert afterward. You're not thinking about any of that other stuff. You're just focusing on the task at hand and focusing on the feeling of the dishes in the hand, the running water. All of these things help the mind kind of settle a little bit, and they help you avoid the other stressors that are going to occur when you're worried about what's coming next and you're rushing. Okay? That's a simple example, and there are a variety of other aspects to it, but For now, again, I think if it's something you're new to, trying something like Headspace or getting a good teacher might be of benefit for you. And again, it's something that I have a little bit of experience in and do with some of my clientele that do need it. And it's something I do every day. I tend to meditate twice a day. And it's something that I have found profoundly helpful. So moving right along here, let's talk about fitness a little bit as it pertains to the holiday season and Thanksgiving in particular. So leading up to the day of Thanksgiving, what we just talked about is the importance of scheduling. So if your fitness goals are a priority for you, you need to have a schedule of when you're going to work out, because there's a variety of different things that are going to get in the way, and you need to be able to say, no, this workout is my priority. I need to do this before I focus on the other stuff. Okay? You only schedule what you will actually do. For most people, this isn't a time of year where you're going to break through any barriers, and that's fine. It's about maintenance, and it's about not losing ground. So we get into January, and you feel like you've lost all this ground, and you're totally demotivated. Okay? Combining some form of cardiovascular exercise with some kind of strength obviously is fantastic, but again, we're only doing what we can do. If you have time to do something on a daily basis, even if it's just 20 to 30 minutes, then that's great. If not, you're unable to commit or exercise isn't that as high on the priority list, then maybe you only do 3 times a week, okay? As far as intensity levels go, my personal opinion is for me, if I know that I'm going to be very busy, is I'll do short, high-intensity exercise routines when I'm in a time that's very busy, so I'm still getting my exercise in there, but it's like 20 to 30 minutes at the most. And I find that very effective. If you have a little bit more time and you are willing to devote a little bit more time to it, you can have a little bit more of a broad spectrum of exercise routines that you can do. The day of Thanksgiving, this is just my recommended protocol for folks, is the day of, you wake up in the morning and you do a high-intensity workout first thing, okay? They have these turkey trots that everyone's doing. That's great. Go sign up for one of those. If you don't want to get up that early or you don't want to do something like that, get up and do something on your own. What this is going to do is it's going to help burn through any excess glycogen stores, and so you're reducing the potential for an insulin spike later in the day, okay? Especially since we know odds are we have a pretty big meal coming. Another great idea is after Thanksgiving dinner, go for a walk. Get a group of people together and go for a walk, and can be something simple like 15 to 20 minutes. This just helps digest the food. It helps reduce an insulin spike. If you go for just a 15-20 minute walk after a meal, it really, really does help as far as the insulin spike goes. The morning after Thanksgiving, another high-intensity exercise, just again to keep the metabolism going, is a great idea. And yeah, that would be my recommendation for the day of and the day after. We'll get into nutrition in a minute here, which is a little bit more, a little bit more of a complex topic. But if we're talking about exercise, you want to make sure that you're doing something that you're going to commit to, are going to schedule and prioritize, and isn't something you're just going to push it away. So it may not be a good idea to, again, look to break any barriers with something that's like really hard. You don't have to go for any milestones. If you're really enthusiastic about something, go for it, but you don't have to. Only do what you can do. If anyone wants a fitness program specifically focusing on the times leading up to and right on the day of and after Thanksgiving, we can make one for you that's personalized just for what your goals are. Just reach out to me if you're interested in something like that and mention this video, and we'll give you 50% off that fitness program. Let's move on to nutrition quickly here, okay? Leading up to the day, again, 1, you need to prioritize your dietary habits, and number 2, you need to schedule a variety of things as it pertains to your dietary habits. In the mornings, some ideas you might want to think about is intermittent fasting. Okay, this is a great way to kind of cleanse the body. I'm not a big fan of the word cleanse. I'm not sure it's the right word because there's a lot of bogus stuff in regards to cleanses, but intermittent fasting can be a very beneficial thing. Another idea is for breakfast to have something like a green juice or a green smoothie, so we're getting a nice good intake of micronutrients. You want to stay away from comfort foods for breakfast, things like pancakes, waffles, muffins, donuts, scones, all of that stuff. Instead, go for things like eggs, healthy fats. If you're going to go for carbohydrates, something like Ezekiel bread, which has a lot of sprouted grains, sweet potatoes, vegetables. A lot of people are averse to vegetables in the morning for breakfast, but it's a great idea, and it's something that you should definitely do more of. There's no time of day that you can't have vegetables, and we're a little bit too fixated on specific foods that are for breakfast, specific foods that are for lunch. The more we can kind of throw that idea out the window, I think the healthier a lot of us would be. Schedule when you're going to research healthy recipes for Thanksgiving if you're responsible for cooking things. And so today we're a week out. And so if we know we're a week out, when are you going to figure out exactly what you're cooking and how you're going to cook it and what you're going to need for it? Okay? Go ahead and search out things that are health conscious, things that are maybe grain free, so you're not going into a carb coma. All right? Again, things that have lots of vegetables in them, have healthy fats. The real killer on Thanksgiving is carbohydrates and overeating. A lot of people think that tryptophan is something that's in turkey that makes us tired, but that's nonsense. While it is in turkey, there's only a little bit, and it's not in the form that is very bioavailable. Tryptophan is kind of something that happens when a variety of other hormones are broken down. It's not like you're just going to eat something and boom, tryptophan is going to make you tired all of a sudden. And not to mention, there's a variety of other foods that have a lot more tryptophan than turkey does, chicken being one of them. Lots of different vegetables and grains have a higher and more bioavailable content. But the reason we feel slow and sluggish and groggy and tired, particularly the night of Thanksgiving, is because we had a lot of things that are high in sugar, high in carbohydrates, a lot of carbohydrates mixed with fats, which is a nasty combo, and we overate ourselves, okay? We ate way, way too much. The day of Thanksgiving, same thing, we need to plan the meal ahead of time. A lot of us go into our Thanksgiving meal and we just kind of gorge. We just fill our plates up. I mean, I'm guilty of this. I've done this before. And we just take a little bit of everything. It would be very beneficial for some of us to know ahead of time what we are or are not going to eat and to stick to that decision. We're making a decision. 75% of being able to reach a goal is just making a decision that you're just going to do that and not let anything else get in the way. So if you make a decision that you're just going to eat X, Y, Z and omit some of the other stuff, then that's a decision you've made and we're going to stick with it, period. Okay? That doesn't mean that you can't have certain things. If you're comfortable with limiting yourself to eating certain things that are healthier for you, then great. If not, then accept that you're going to indulge in certain things and just do it and move on. The stress that some of us feel from feeling guilty of eating something that isn't good for us is not good either, because the stress hormone that is released from that, just feeling bad about it, actually has a lot of very negative side effects too. There's a lot, I could talk about that for a while here, but I digress. So the point being, we decide what we're going to eat regardless of what it is, and we stick to it. Another recommendation that I use a lot for folks is to use a small plate. This is going to limit the portion size. So if we have a giant plate and we're filling that up as opposed to a small plate and we're filling that up, it takes your body about 15 minutes to actually realize that it's full. And so you can see the vicious cycle that happens here if we just keep on stuffing our faces. If we don't slow down, then we're going to overeat, and it's going to make us feel like crap, okay? And we're not going to know. It's just going to kind of hit us out of nowhere. That's generally what happens. And by then you have that insulin spike, that sugar spike, and you're going to have to, wait for it to pass, and you've already kind of crossed that line. The morning after, My opinion is to go back to that fasting if you're into it, or if not, really push your micronutrients from dark leafy green vegetables, your microgreens, which is really just baby greens, okay? Or like little root greens like sprouts, okay? Your green juices, your green smoothies, really pushing your fluids, your water, and pushing your micronutrients, okay? If anyone is interested in a nutrition program specifically designed for whatever their lifestyle goals are leading up to the day of and after Thanksgiving, you can let me know about that as well. Drop me a message, mention the workshop, and we'll go ahead and we'll give you 50% off again on a program there. Okay, so just to review here in regards to what we can do for you guys, we are offering for the next 24 hours here, 50% off on any personalized program, whether it be fitness, nutrition, or mindset based. If you want something that encompasses a little bit more than just one of these things, you can do 2 or all 3 of them, and we will still honor 50% off for that. All you need to do is private message me within the next 24 hours, and we'll go ahead and set you up with that. If anybody has any other questions in regards to different ways to kind of stay on track with their goals this time of year, I'm going to be doing a couple of other workshops or live chats here throughout the holiday season, because I know it's a time that people drive themselves a little bit crazy over. And so I think that just having a resource to help you through that is a positive one. So again, anything else you guys need from me or would like to see in the future or throughout this holiday season, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks very much for listening, and I will catch you guys soon.